Hello my darlings, it's me Rosie Bits and I'm back with Tantra Tips with Rosie Bits. Okay, so I want you to like, subscribe, do all those things, grab my free gift. You want my free gift because it connects you to my newsletter and all my workshops and all my sexy stuff is all on there, so grab that free gift. This week we are talking about aftercare. So if you haven't watched my last two videos on being dominant in the bedroom or being submissive, please go grab those and this video will make a lot more sense. But let's jump into aftercare. So after kinky situations, you need aftercare. This is a must-have conversation, and this conversation actually comes before the sexy situation. You want to set up the aftercare before you even get into that sexy situation. But you know what? You might need aftercare during any heightened experience, the sexually heightened experience. Like if I'm with a new lover, somebody, that I'm just kind of like getting into the swing of things with, maybe I don't know them really well, and we're just like, it's quite new and fresh. One of the things I'll ask for aftercare is I'll be like, can you just send me a little text? I might have a little crash in the next couple of days. If I have a lot of orgasms, usually I have a glitter crash, a sexy crash after all those hormones settle down. And I need to just feel connected. So I'll get them to send me a text in the next 24 to 48 hours just to check in on me. And just so I'm like, oh yeah, you're still here. Okay, cool. We did this thing together. We're connected, right? So it's okay to ask for aftercare in any type of sexy situation, but especially if you're in a kink situation, you need that aftercare. And there's two components. You really need physical aftercare and emotional aftercare. So let's talk about the physical part first of all. So if you've gone into a kinky situation and there is any, say, marking or bruising, all of this of course is consensual. It's all planned out prior to, you've created a scene, you've had that important conversation. But if you know that you are like, we're gonna do some rope play or we're gonna do some impact play, you really need to make sure that there is what you're going to need physically after, and that it's already there. You don't have to go looking for it. So if you know there's going to probably be some bruising, or maybe there'll be some like a little bit of rope burn, then you can get like some arnica gel, or you could get some oil to rub on that rope burn. You can make sure that you've got those things. You can get a heat pack or some ice cubes, right? Have all those things set up for afterwards. You can even take your partner into the shower and just help their nervous system settle down, or draw a bath for them with some Epsom salts to just make sure they're coming back into the space and they are grounding. And usually it's the dominant who's going to set this sort of stuff up, but not always. It's actually the responsibility of both parties to talk about aftercare and what each of them are going to need. When I am in the position of a goddess or a pro-dom, I need aftercare. I actually need to debrief with my partner or my client about what just happened. And like that makes me feel good, making sure that even though we set up safe words and we went over boundaries and talked, did all this good communication prior to entering into the scene, at the other side, what makes me feel really good is hearing about like what really worked for them, what was sexy, what turned them on, and maybe the things where they're like, oh, that like kind of got to my edges, or that actually was like not within the realm of really what I love. Those are things that for me, I need to hear, and they're part of my aftercare. I also need a lot of physical aftercare. So I need to eat, I need to have some food. And that's a big component of that physical aftercare. Make sure there's some food and some water, whatever your physical necessities are going to be. For me, that's what I need. I want to have, and often I'll get my submissives to like hand feed me, right? If we haven't done anything big, that's like, say, a big impact play or something that's going to be like heavy duty where they're deep into subspace, then I'm like, you need to take care of me now. As I'm talking to you and cooing to you, I need you also to be stroking my back and hand feeding me as I tell you what a good boy you are, what a good submissive you are, what a good pet you are. Okay, so make sure you have whatever physical necessities are necessary, that you've pre-planned them. Number 2, emotional. So I talked about how I coo to my submissives, and I do. I coo to them. I let them know that whatever weird, crazy thing we just did that was their fantasy and their need, that they deserve that pleasure, right? That it is okay for them to want that pleasure. Or maybe they just wanted to serve me. And so I let them know that I'm so appreciative of them serving me, right? And that is creating that emotional aftercare. Now, you guys want to talk about this prior to, because people need different things. I need some talking. I need a lot of talking. Other people don't necessarily need that, right? Sometimes they're like, I'm good. I'm just gonna like have a shower and go home. I'm fine. But also if it's different, you're gonna negotiate. You're gonna be like, okay, you just wanna have a shower and go home, but I need to talk it out. So can we find something in the middle that's gonna work for aftercare for both of us, right? So that is, it's not gonna be all or nothing. It's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna talk for 2 hours because that's what I need, or I'm gonna have a shower and leave because that's what you need. You're gonna negotiate and meet somewhere in the middle where both those needs can be met. It's gonna be like, hey, can we talk for 20 minutes? And then I'm gonna need to have a shower and go, right? You're gonna negotiate those things. So figure out emotionally what might be needed, what your styles are, and then negotiate what feels good to both of you and stick to it. So one of the big things that I didn't talk about in either of the videos, and I think it's really important to note here, is you set a plan. Okay, so prior to your scene, prior to going into these kinky situations as a dominant or a submissive, or even with like any kinky situation, prior to, you are, setting up your safe words, setting boundaries, all those things. You're talking about aftercare, you're preparing, right? And then you create your scene before you go into it so you know what you're entering into. But the other thing you're gonna do is you're setting that plan and then you're not gonna deviate it from it. Unless you really, really know that person, you're not deviating, because when you're in a heightened state of arousal, you can't actually give consent. You can't give full enthusiastic consent. It's like being intoxicated. It's like, you make a plan to have sex and then you're intoxicated and you can't really consent to making any changes to those plans. You can't be like, when you're intoxicated, like, yeah, I want to have anal sex, even though I've never had anal sex before, but it sounds like a great idea right now. That's not a fucking great idea. That's a bad idea. Same goes when you're just like in a heightened state of arousal. So stick to your plan, my friends. Otherwise, consent may get a little like, ugh. And you can have a pretty broad level of consent, right? You both can be like, here's my hard nose. Here are my safe words, so I know I can reach my hard nose like really, really quick. If something comes up and triggers me, I can get out of it instantaneously. But within that realm, I'm actually pretty cool with like anything else happening. You can make it open like that if you want, if you feel really comfortable with the person you're playing with. But otherwise, I would say don't deviate from what the plan of the scene is, right? And don't deviate from not having aftercare afterwards. You need that to close down that yummy time. You need that if the submissive has gone into subspace, you need that to help them come back into this world. It's part of the safety that you provide as a dominant. And also it's part of the service, is finding out what aftercare your dominant needs. That's part of the service that you provide as a submissive. Okay, there you go, short and quick. We got little quickies going on. So have some aftercare. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you feel is important for aftercare, what your flavor of aftercare looks like. Okay, my darlings, like and subscribe, grab my free gift. If you just watched this and you didn't watch the other videos, go back and watch, how to be dominant in the bedroom, how to be submissive in the bedroom. Or you could even watch how to tips to spice up your sex life. Love you.